Hi, guess what? We're back.
And we're back. We are talking with Julia Cannon. You're an amazing author and teacher of QHHT, and we were just talking all about the work that you did with your mom, Dolores Cannon, and it's just, there's so much to cover. But we were really curious about your childhood and what it was like growing up in the Cannon household with this kind of experience happening is like just normal
Just
family
everyday
business.
stuff.
You know, we're regressing people back through the
Normal in our
ages.
household.
It's your normal, but also that was before New Age became a thing, and that was before. I mean, I can't imagine. What did your mom do with that? What did you do? Well, you were a child, so your mom led. But I mean, did it ever scare y'all? Did you ever have experiences that weren't necessarily, I'm like, from the outside? I know that some people will look at me and say, wait, you what? No, you talk to dead people, really? And so how was that? And you're in the South. Well, I guess the South, Arkansas.
Mm-hmm. Well, we moved to Arkansas, let's see, when I was in junior high. And she stayed incognito for quite a while. So it was, you know, we lived in the hills, and it's like really, it's a small town, and nobody cared. It's like one of these places where like nobody cares what you do here. So she was able to hide here. That's why we were here. Kind of, it's like, they really, not why they were here, but it's like, they really didn't pay us any mind. So, but we weren't like that. It wasn't like we were out here doing all this stuff. And let's get back to, okay, when everything first started, okay, when you say growing up, the strangest thing probably that she did growing up is she was just open. And I think we believed in things. That was about it, you know. Because remember, it's not like it is now.
Yeah. Where
you had these things going on. And this is, we're talking back in the 60s. So, 60s. And the biggest thing is we lived in a haunted house. We believe in ghosts. Okay?
Yeah.
All right. Okay, that was probably the biggest. And then she read palms. That was...
I didn't know that.
Okay, and so, but not like all the time. It would just be once in a while, and that was like entertainment for people.
Yeah.
So it was just like, oh, hey, you know, and that would be it. You know, it's just like, and that was just yeah, she can do it, and no big deal.
Well,
and so, and she read the Fate magazine. Oh, no, I didn't say that. She read Fate magazine. So it's like, you see, we were open to those things. And I think that's because we were a military family, and so we traveled all over the world. So we were open. Mm-hmm. We were raised to be open to things. So, but that was the extent of it.
So it was just the way it was.
And you said the hypnosis started just with weight loss and smoking and anxiety things, and it kind of people kept stumbling into past lives, and that sort of became.
Well, this was this one person that, and it was actually my father who was the original hypnotist.
Oh wow, okay.
Mm-hmm. And and my mother was just there she was just assisting him. She was holding the microphone, and she was his assistant. You know, she was just helping him, and they were just working on this together. And he was helping other people, you know, do that anxiety, you know, and this woman with weight loss, and then she just happened to be a very, very good, you know, client who would just, you know, to go off in the deep end, and just really, really good client, and just happened to spontaneously go into another life, and they were like, what is this? That had never happened.
And no training on how to regress somebody into that or get them back out of it.
No, they had no training, no books, no nothing. And so, okay, well, this is, I mean, they'd heard of it, but that was it, you know, but you had nothing on what to do with it. And so they just kind of experimented, and they just go back in segments. It's like, okay, let's go back and, you know, like 25 years segments or something like that. I don't know. But then after a while, they started like in 100 years.
Oh my gosh! But I love that they followed that trail, and they didn't. That was the start of something incredible. They followed the trail.
Mhm.
when it
And it's just because of curiosity. Let's just see what happens. And they did several things. That was the book, Five Lives Remembered. And that was just, well, let's see. I mean, who knows? I don't know if we can do this or not. And they looked into the future. They looked at events. They looked at the JFK shooting and I think the Scorpion, is that the name of it? Let's see. Those were events that had just happened right then. It's what was going on. Let's see if we can see what's going on there.
They're just curious.
They were just
They were
experimenting.
wanderers. Yeah. Time travelers.
Exactly. That pretty much what they were doing was remote viewing, I guess.
Yeah.
They were just like, oh, let's see what we can see. I mean, now we know what they were doing.
Now, were you witnessing any of this? Were you in there asking any of the
No.
questions, or no?
No. I was like 10. I was in school.
Yeah.
In school.
Maybe younger than that, because I was 10 when we were. No, maybe I was about 10. I was 10 when he had his accident, so it was right before that. So I was about 10.
Right.
And then, let's see. So they were looking at the future, and they were looking. It's like, let's look and see what we're all doing. It was the three of them. So it's like she saw herself, the client did, and then she saw him because he was the one asking the question. Now, Mom was just, she didn't see her. She was just with him. So she saw what he was doing, and that was significant because then he had the accident that nearly killed him. I mean, he should have died. In fact, he did die several times.
Wow.
He had like 3 brain concussions, lost all the blood in his body. I mean, his entire body was crushed. He was just,
Wow.
I don't know how he lived. Really, he was a miracle. They kept calling him the miracle man, but he lived at all. But he, but she told him that she saw him at whatever point this was, he's sitting there with like great grandchildren around him. And so it's like, but that's what gave my mother this hope, It's like, well, if she saw that, she saw all this other things, and she saw that, then I believe that.
Yeah.
So.
And you make that your reality.
And so the doctor's also coming in, and he's not going to live, and this is why he's not going to live. All these things. No, I know he's going to live. I can't tell you why I know, but I know.
Wow.
Well, if you believe that hard, that much, then,
That's
Yeah,
okay.
attribute it
That's
to
your
that.
truth.
Wow. Mm-hmm.
But was that dinner table conversation, that we just regressed somebody back to JFK, or we just went back to Jesus's time, or was that normal dinner conversation around history?
Later it was. At that time, I don't remember it being dinner. I remember people coming over and they would listen to recordings, and I think I might have sat in on some of those when they were playing the recordings.
Yeah.
Because I vaguely remember some of that. But remember, I'm a little kid. We're off running around playing. So now after the accident, our world was completely turned upside down.
Yeah.
And everything it was completely different after that. But, and then we moved to Arkansas, once he was in the hospital for a year. Our world was completely shifted. And all of that ended, and everything. So it was very, but I do vaguely remember sitting in a room, like in the living room or something, and listening to those recordings. So it could be that whenever some of these friends came over and they were listening, that I was probably in the room.
You were absorbing it.
Yeah. Do you think your dad's accident was did y'all ever investigate why he had such a traumatic accident? Did it to change his life course, to put him in a different direction? I was asking about your dad's accident. Have you guys ever investigated that?
Did he ever say that again?
Did he do a QHHT session to see why he had gone through that, to have such a traumatic, life-changing experience?
No. Because she started doing her sessions, it was, a while after the accident. And it took a while before it ever started becoming QHHT, because she was just now she's experimenting, and now she says, okay, I want to pick this back up again. And so it took a while to actually develop it, and she was practicing on me. I was one of her original guinea pigs. So, and it took a while, she just kept working with it, and it gradually came into what is now known as QHHT. But it started with just past lives, and then it gradually, as she kept working with like the ETs, and they were giving her more and more information. Then it started going into the higher part And she's like, oh, there's something else happening here. And then that's when this contact with the higher self came in. And then they showed her how to contact it. And so first it was like it was an accident. And it's like, what's going on here? This is something else. This is, this is the healing thing came in, and it's like, what's going on? And then this is why they had this, and this is what this is going on. Oh my gosh, what's going on here?
And again, following those trails, that curious nature, just asking questions.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
But to have that, I mean, it's one thing if I can YouTube and read all about you and your mom and different people out there, but to not have access to any of that and to believe it. I mean, to experience it and then pick back up. That's pretty cool. I mean, that is, she came in with that is her. I mean, I've heard many times she was so elevated, and the people that I've heard that she's come in through since she's crossed, they all say the same thing. It's like, she's really strong. She's really big. Her room, she takes up the room. And I love to talk about her, but also I want to keep the focus with you. I mean, I think that is incredible. I just think that for you guys to go with that and just, I can't even imagine, because I question all the time. And that's what I've been told. You got to let go of that. It's keeping you back. So that's amazing.
Well, when you said that just now, as far as like we had nothing, she had nothing to, she was just going there. I was like, and it was like connecting a dot, just like, look at what her training was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go back to the 60s. But that's exactly what they did with that first case. They had no training. They were just, going in the dark.
What's out there? Yeah.
Curious. They were just, let's see what we can do here. Let's see what we can do. Just curious. So that was her training.
That was her training, but that's kind of you too. I mean, you're going into this, and yes, your mother's laid the whole framework. Yes,
yeah.
But you're walking into that, and you're kind of going, okay, wait, hold on. So this is what I'm going to do, and you're doing the same thing. I mean, you're just picking up where she left off, but then you're moving and making it your own, and that's pretty cool.
Don't be scarred.
No, I mean, no.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome. I've heard different people say, oh yeah, when I became an attorney or when I became a doctor, and you may have felt this way when you actually started to practice after going through school, you kind of feel like, they're paying me to do this. Am I doing it right? Is it? And I think that after a while, you just kind of get your wheels, and you kind of, and that's, I know that's going for me from being the person that reads the books to people that may actually write the books. That's a big step.
Yeah.
I mean, that is a really, really big step. And you've already done that. You've already written your book, several books, and you have a lot of books in you. So that's anyway. I think that's fascinating. And I have a question. Okay, so I know this is a little bit of but I know that our time.
I know. I don't want it to be over.
I know.
We got about 15 minutes.
Okay, so this resonated with me, and it's actually how I found you. But it resonated with me, and it feels really right. But every time I float this idea, people are like, "What?" Background people. So back in why this makes sense. I remember one day, a few months before I saw this, I was at the mall. And I was just watching folks, and I said, "Why is it that person looks like their lights on, and their lights aren't on?" It's like people look, and I don't, and I kept thinking, well, maybe there's more soul in different people, or maybe, and I kept trying to make sense of it, or if it was, forgive me, and I don't mean this in a bad way, but a low IQ thing. Why is it that some people seem to spark, and some people seem like their lights are off? And then I saw the talk she gave about background people. Can you expand on that? Can you tell Tiff? She's looking at me like,
no, I watched it.
Backdrop
I watched people, and go ahead, because it's fascinating. I mean, all the work your mom.
And that's kind of, I mean, that's still one that, although in convoluted side, it was kind of like it gave the rest of the information, but it's still one that, and I think that we still have to get some more things to be able to wrap our heads around the concept. It's like my mind still has some issues with it. And I think
pretzel.
it's because of that. Because it's part of that matrix thing that maybe our mind, or my mind anyway, it's almost there, but it's like I can conceive the idea, but it's like as far as putting it into my reality, I'm still having a little bit of an issue with that, and that's where I have that's where it is. But yeah, just when we're making our reality, that's the whole gist of it. Is when we're making our reality, we have our people in place, to make our play. Well, we have our main characters, but then we need some backfill in our play.
Yeah.
Support
so
characters.
That's what those are. That's the backdrop people. That's our extras, so to speak. So they're just fill.
Now, are they filled for everyone, or do they actually have their own worlds that they're in, and I'm just not part? Am I a fill for someone else?
You might be.
I know, that's what I was thinking at first, was that, well, we're backdrop to someone else, but according to what, at least what was in that last book, is like, that's not necessarily the case. But that makes sense to me, that we're filling roles for each other. Well, we are for each other, like in the main, in main roles, and we might be like a lesser role for someone else.
Yeah.
But apparently we're not backdrop people.
Oh.
It's like those are specific.
That's why they're here. They're just kind of. It's like when you go somewhere and you just see the cutout. There's nothing really behind it. It's just the stage.
Right.
I love that.
Well,
I know. Is that? But see why it's so hard.
But your mom, I'm glad to know that you struggle with some of these concepts and you've been immersed in it your whole life, because I read, Convoluted Universe, and your mom said, if you want to have your brain twisted like a pretzel,
yeah.
here's some mind-bending concepts. But to raise our vibration.
Struggles with it too. We would have long talks about it, and she's like, yeah, 'cause she would talk to them when they would give us their things, and she's like, well, wait a minute, you're going to have to give me an analogy, you're going to have to give me something so I can explain it, and then she'd hit a block, and they're going, okay, well, if you can't get it, we're going to stop right here.
How do you explain sight to somebody who's never had sight? Or like if you were to have an extra sense, like hearing or taste or touch, and if you've never experienced that, how would you possibly even conceptualize it? So some of these concepts are just out of our little 3D reality, and they're so hard to grasp, but that's where we're going. And I love...
Exactly.
And you say that. You actually say that. I love it. I was listening to something that you did on Gaia. That's a great interview, by the way. She's so wonderful, Regina.
Thank you.
And you did. Oh, you were just so real. Anyway, and I love that.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, no, it's wonderful.
I was so nervous on that one.
I would be too. I would be too with her.
You did great.
Yeah, you really did, and it was so soon after your mom crossed. But it is, at least I think it is. I felt that way, but
It was.
what was it? But she had said, or you said, somebody said something about going to the Egyptian tombs or the pyramids, and that we may actually see it as just the pyramid and kind of a museum,
ruins, yeah.
but other people may see everything going on there. And I
Eyes
think
to see.
it's beautiful.
Yeah.
You just have to raise our vibration enough to see it, and that Isis is coming back, and I love that, and I would love to know more about that, but I can get the book and I can learn more about that. But it is, there's just so much. And so with the whole New Earth, are you two getting a lot of information with New Earth and our shift and what's going on here?
Right. Well, yeah, you get a lot of different kinds of information, and what I have always been getting is, like, since 2011, it's done. Everybody shifted.
Yeah.
And it's here. You're already there. You'll see it when you believe it. And some people keep going, when are we going to get there? When are we going to get there? It's like, people, we're already here.
We're here.
The bus has been here.
And then they kept saying, it's just a matter of, each person, they're expecting these things. It's like, well, they want to know what's going to happen, well, and all these things. And it's like, you're each going to have your own experience.
Right.
Everything is, it's whatever you are choosing. And so it's like, there's 7 billion people on the planet. You can have 7 billion different experiences. So it's it's your consciousness that's waking up. It's your consciousness that's doing all these things. It's your choosing. So it's whatever you want to have happen. And this is all that creation. You know, it's just, we're waking up as creator beings. So what do you want the experience to be? What do you want the new earth to be? It's your choice. It's your creation. So
that's thrilling and scary at the same time, isn't it? Isn't that just amazing? Okay, I do have another question. Can I ask? So your mom had talked, you guys have both talked a lot about how your body, with all of these healing abilities and this wisdom available to us, can live indefinitely, like live long, long, long lifetimes.
A long time, maybe not indefinitely yet, but a long time.
But a long time. So, and I hope this isn't too personal, but I was actually surprised when your mom passed away. I was expecting her to be like the pioneer, to go like to 200 and show us how to do it. So when she passed a couple years ago, I was like, well, wait a minute. So did she have and have you received any insight, or it was just her time to cross, or do you have any insight on how she feels about that now?
Not like now, but when she crossed, I'm telling you, she had me convinced also beforehand that she was going to live forever. I was just as surprised as everyone else that she passed.
I'm sorry.
When they told me that they, she was in a rehab center, and they told me, they brought me in, they said, she's not going to live, she's not going to make it. I was in complete shock. I was like, what are you basing this on?
This is Dolores Cannon we're talking about.
You know who she is.
Exactly. You don't know who you're dealing with here. This is not, no.
Yeah.
I do not accept this as an answer, anything. And then I said, well, I'm taking her home then. She's not, she doesn't want to be here. She never wanted to be here, so forget this. And then and went through several things. But then when she did cross, because I went back in the room and I looked at her and I said, "This is what you want?" I couldn't believe it. And everything. She's like, "What?" And she was kind of in and out of it at that point. But when she did cross, I felt her. I felt her hurt or whatever. I felt her say, "I can do more from the other side."
That makes sense.
So
that makes perfect sense.
That was why.
A broader reach. And she was starting to slow down, wasn't she, at that point?
Yeah. She was feeling the limitations of her body, and she was wanting to do so much more, and she couldn't at that point. It was just.
And so now
she's being told to stop traveling, just like I'm being told to stop traveling. But it was for, but she didn't. I don't think she understood why.
Yeah.
And it was like, and we were already starting to do it, and she was trying to figure out how to make it work, and she got so depressed. She's like, I'm not doing my job. I don't feel like I'm doing my job. And I'm like, what are you talking about?
Right.
Well, now she can bilocate and be with every QHHT practitioner as they're doing a session, and all those people. So talk about spreading the love and the wealth and being in multiple places and multiple dimensions and times now. So she really is doing so much more. But so my mom is in spirit too, and she's often told me, because we've had some health challenges in our family, that she said the body is designed to break down. It's just your human vehicle for that little lifetime of experience, and it's not meant to last that long. You're meant to go have this experience. And so I've always sort of wondered how to fit that in with what Dolores had what you guys had taught about how much we can heal and how much of this we're meant to go through. So I don't know, the truth is in there somewhere, and it's different for everybody, I guess, but it's mind-bending to kind of look at it from all these different perspectives.
Right. Yeah, it's just the body is designed to live longer than what we believe it can live at this current time.
I believe that.
Yeah.
It's our beliefs that make it go at this.
That collective
at
consciousness.
The rate it's going.
Yeah.
Right. It's designed to live
Longer.
hundreds of years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't that interesting?
We are the ones that, just back in a long time ago, it was living hundreds of years.
Yeah.
We're the ones that believe it has to go at 70 or 80,
Right.
90, whatever, 90 if you're lucky. So, it's designed to live for hundreds of years.
And I love that you were the guinea pig for these early regressions, and now it has developed into this, what it is now. I mean, like you said, you're running the companies and the publishing companies and the training programs, and it's huge.
And her
it's
radio
nationwide.
show.
Yes. How do you? How does that feel to kind of see what those early beginnings and your crucial part of that has developed into? Isn't that huge?
It's surreal. It's very surreal, and it was really the very overwhelming and gratifying, wonderful thing was probably the very last class that Mom had before she passed. Was in September of 2014. It was the largest class we ever had. It was 150 people in that class. It was a level 1 class. And he came in. It was so great. We had people, I don't know how many countries were represented in that class. It was so many. And I was just kind of talking to them. She was a little bit late coming in. And I was having them all yell out the countries that they were from and different places they were from. And then when she came in, everybody stood up and gave her a standing ovation. And she just walked in and she was beaming and just so proud and everything. And then when she came up the front, she was looking around. And she started doing that in the last few classes. She was like acknowledging all the different places. And she's like, did I do this?
Yes.
It's just like,
Oh,
it's like it was
man.
finally dawning on her that the effect, you know, like what was happening.
One person.
And that was just so beautiful to see that, you know. It's just so, and every time I think about that, I want to cry, you know, just her, that pride and that the joy that she has.
Well, it
you know,
is, and we're so grateful for
beautiful.
all your part in it, and that the videos are recorded. You can still continue to learn from you
Fun.
guys. Everything's online. Your website
Absolutely.
is juliacannon.com, and your mom's is dolorescannon.com. QHHT,
Right.
and we've done a number of shows with people who've gone under regression, and the information coming through is just so exciting and interesting.
I had one, but this is really sort of before I've
Wonderful.
stepped in. Yes, and the thing I remember the most from it is, and this is before I believed in aliens, before I believed in all this stuff. I mean, I was pretty asleep at this point, and I said, I'm in a pod, and it was all black, and there was this blue Gumby being there, and there was a pod, and they were starting to heal me, and so that was what I took from it. Yeah,
They were starting to
heal me. They were healing me.
heal
And
you.
so-
Okay,
mhm.
okay.
So apparently,
Fantastic.
I know that was really cool, and we're trying to get one of your superstars to come to Houston to do a few.
Our
A lot of
friend
people
Allison
want-
Coe is an awesome practitioner, and we've had her on several times. So, my dear, I hope you get lots of rest.
Yeah.
I hope your writing and
We can't wait.
businesses and all of this just seamlessly just kind of keeps unfolding and growing, whichever way feels natural to you, with your mom's honoring too,
Thank
because
you.
it's
Well,
a beautiful
thank you,
legacy.
and thank you for your encouragement. And I think I will sit down, and I will be much. Yes, I will.
Well, we can't wait for that book.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, what's the name of the new book?
Well, her book is, gosh, I just went blank, Corns of the Goddess.
Oh my gosh.
Magic in the Middle East.
We will be looking for that. Thank you so much, Julia, for joining
Thank you
us.
for
You've been a
coming
delight.
on.
Oh,
And thank you to our
so much for having me.
to our
It's been a
JoyRiders.
Joy, absolute joy.
You have to come
On
back.
JoyRide.
We want you to come back.
have a great
another
week,
hour.
guys. Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Bye.